The parents of 4 Illinois student athletes are suing Governor J.B. Pritzker over his decision to cancel the winter high school sports season. Trevor Till, the son of the lead plaintiff in this case, tragically took his own life last October. Till was an active student who was hoping to go to the state championships for pole vaulting in his senior year. He was unable to do so because of the restrictions on high school sports. Trevor's mother, Lisa Moore, joins me now, and by her side is Laura Grohuxy, senior counsel at Remember America Action, senior attorney in all of this. Thank you both for joining me. Lisa, I want to talk about the better times, the good times, and tell us who Trevor was.
Trevor was an all-around awesome boy. He achieved in the classroom. He was an Illinois State Scholar. He achieved on academic playing fields. He was on the speech team. He achieved in athletic playing fields. He was on the cross team at Seneca High School that made it to state several times. He made it to state as a pole vaulter his sophomore year. Junior, he missed by 3 inches, so he was so gung-ho for senior year. And because of COVID, was not allowed to compete. Trevor was the drum major at his high school. He was the class president of his senior high school at Seneca High School. He was the National Honor Society president. And he was also the lead in the musical, The Music Man, the male lead, which thank goodness was able to, it was the weekend before they closed the schools for COVID. So he was able to do that. Wow. He was kind. He fought for the underdog. He had wonderful relationships with all of his educators. He truly enjoyed being at school. That's where his heart and soul was. Many days he'd be at school from 7 a.m. for some kind of practice till 9 p.m. for musical or play practice. He took advantage of all the extra study times that the teachers at Seneca High School, held for calculus and different things like that. I mean, I can go on and on. He was Lisa, an awesome brother. He was an awesome son. He was my person.
Lisa, I
so
know
much.
that this is, I know you do. And I wanted to start with the good times because when we mourn, we know that we have to start there. We have to remember that. We have to let that sink in. But something changed. And you are telling your story today because you want other parents to know about the restrictions of certain lockdowns. Talk to me about what changed in Trevor and what you want the world to know.
Well, when COVID hit, in the beginning, we didn't know exactly how long they were going to be out of school. So week by week, I just saw changes in him. He's a teenage boy. They need their friends. They need the interaction. They need the socialization. But Trevor, like I said before, had such a wonderful rapport with his teachers. And he was that student in the classroom that raised his hand, that got the conversations going. Doing that from Zoom, doing that from his bedroom, it was not the same feeling for him. I saw him started to get just, a little depressed. He got a job at Menards, which helped, for an outlet, for something to do. At the end of the school year, we did the award ceremony via Zoom, and Trevor won so many scholarships and awards from the high school. He planned on, he did attend University of Illinois. His hopes was that he was going to be in the marching band and then maybe even eventually be one of the drum majors. He was a history major. I told him before he went, he didn't have to go because of COVID and everything. He wanted to go. He wanted to go. He wanted a bigger school. He wanted to try it out after being in a smaller high school. He wanted to try something bigger. However, it was not the college experience he was hoping for. His roommate was from India, so he didn't attend because of COVID. Everyone had to sit
so he was
separately.
Alone.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. He was
Did you
alone.
say something? I'm
he
sorry.
Didn't have familiarity around him. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
He was alone. He didn't have that familiarity around him. And that is such a message to parents now. You were looking at the signs, and I want us to have enough time before we reach the top of the hour. Lisa, thank you for telling us so much. I want to come right back, though, because I want to see what kind of fight you're in right now by talking to Laura, your senior attorney on this, because you're representing 3 other families. Laura, what is this battle like? And when you hear Lisa's story, how powerful she can tell it as a mom, that helps you fight this battle, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately in Illinois, and I think in many, many other places, I think the elites in power, they've dismissed the high school students. In our case in Illinois, it's very, very clear. And this case should have been filed a long time ago because, this is a clear violation of the equal protection rights of high school students in Illinois. We have a very long tradition here of attacking special legislation, which is what this is. Professional sports, they've been allowed to play because they're rich and powerful. College sports also powerful, very wealthy, financially rewarding, broadcast opportunities for these schools. High school students have been denied this opportunity. The state has classified basketball and football and wrestling and Frisbee as high-risk sports and have canceled them until very, very recently. So they're being treated very differently than pro sports, which are very powerful sports leagues. I think there's something amiss here. That high school students have been discriminated against, which is why we filed this. All of this is unnecessary. What happened to Trevor was unnecessary. What's happened to at least 10 other students that I'm aware of that have committed suicide.
That's a high number.
Yes, thousands of students have been denied the opportunity to be scouted and have lost opportunities to go for college scholarships, where neighboring states, students at neighboring states have received those scholarships instead. And these are diverse students, low-income students, rural students who have been denied those opportunities. Wow. Where college and pro sports have been allowed to continue. There's no restrictions whatsoever on pro sports and college sports in Illinois. And we have to ask Governor Pritzker why he's done this. And he did respond to our lawsuit, he said that because college sports and pro sports have more resources. But the problem with that argument is that he's not put any restrictions on them to do anything, to take no precautions whatsoever.
Laura, I want to step in. You are the senior counsel, Laura Huxey, rather. People may be watching this and want to know about Laura Huxey if they need help in this venue in your state. I want to go back to Mom Lisa now. I'm reading some notes from you. I know you're going to be on Capitol Hill this Saturday pushing the state to reinstate high school sports. You say that the final blow, the cancellation of winter sports, caused your son to take his life. One more time, if you can, make that plea, that message to parents across the country, what they need to be looking for, because you could see this coming. You've told us that.
My son died because of COVID isolation. I believe that 100%. That it changed Trevor from who he was to the person that did this. I tell parents, helicopter the heck out of your kids. Watch them. Watch for any change, any slight change in their behavior. Make opportunities for them to see their friends. Do whatever you have to. I don't want any other mother or father or parent or sibling to have to go through this. It's horrific.
Laura Moore, I am so sad and sorry for what you have been through with the loss of your beautiful child. You are honoring his life, his name, and the lives of the list of the others that's growing from your attorney now that we're finding out about with your fight. You're in our prayers as you do that, and now your story is getting out, and that is power as well. Lisa Moore today. Thank you for watching.
Trevor Till, or hashtag Trevor Strong. That's me.
Yes, and for any parent who needs help, please contact us at RememberAmericaAction.org. We are in the fight, and we are trying to fight for parents and their kids across the country, and we are willing to do more. We're a small nonprofit, but we really want to make a difference, and we've been trying to make a difference for Lisa Moore and her family and so many others. But we really need to stand up for our constitutional rights, and we cannot let the state arbitrarily and without a rational basis take them away from us and hurt our kids.
Absolutely. And we are pushing back a little bit our time on Outnumbered because I wanted you to be able to get the last of your words out. The things that you're saying are so important because, you know, we were denied as parents those details from the beginning. And as a co-mom with you, Lisa, I'm on the page with you. Sports, I have a gymnast. Sports are so critical. And you talking to moms, that's going to make a world of difference because sometimes you just feel guilty if you're the only one. Oh my gosh, am I making too much out of everything? But you're not.
No.
And I'm so glad that you can tell the story. I just wish Trevor could be with us.
This goes for the wider, all activities, band, musicals, plays, academic team, everything that the kids in high school do. All these things are so important to them, so important to them. They need to come back. The kids need to have these things.
I hear you. Laura, one more for you because I'm watching social media and people are asking this one question. What power do citizens have when those lockdowns get put in place for their children? You see this push from the CDC, get kids back in school. You see the pushback from the teachers' unions, and understandably so. They want vaccinations, they want testing. I understand all of that as a parent and as a news anchor especially, because we've been covering COVID from day one. So what is it that you tell people is their citizen power?
Well, I think, number one, I think these lawsuits, we must continue to file them aggressively, and the more we file, the better the more rights we're going to start to establish. We need to stand up for ourselves there.
All right.
But the other thing that we need to, hello?
Yes, go ahead.
But the other thing that we need to do though is we need to have people calling their state legislators, calling their state reps, calling their community leaders, emailing them. The people need to be heard. What's happened here across the country and in Illinois is that the state legislatures have ceded their power to these governors, and they have taken advantage. This is why this is happening. We've seen this on the federal level now more recently with these executive orders. That are being, Congress is being bypassed. We're on the state level, it's been happening for a year now under the excuse of COVID-19 legislation, the emergency powers. These emergency powers are not supposed to be indefinite. They're supposed to be limited. And the people who are elected by, in every area of Illinois, they are supposed to be standing up and saying, no, Governor Pritzker, you're not allowed to do this indefinitely. We're supposed to be acting together to figure out these restrictions together and not by yourself. Call your state reps, call your state senators, and tell them to stand up for you.
And that is advice for everybody across the country.
Yes.
Thank you again to you both, Laura and Lisa Moore. Thank you, Lisa, for all you're doing. Saturday, the U.S. State Capitol, I know you will be there spreading your word.